Right guys, welcome back to the shed. The outside is not finished yet. We've given it several coats just to build it up. It's still quite bumpy and what have you. That needs a final sand and a final paint. But there's no point doing that till we've got the inside ready. Now, as you'll remember, the inside has this folded lip. And this folded lip has disintegrated in a couple of places. The joys of it being buried under the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to knock a bit of Bridger fiberglass filler up, and we're going to see if we can't put some guts back where it should be. Oh, this filler's horrible stuff. It just strands and sticks where it wants and makes a decent amount up. Save me having to do it twice, hopefully. No guarantees. Right. So same again, we mix that with the hardener. About a pea of hardener to a golf ball size. The weather here, it's overcast, it's not very warm, there's a bit of moisture in the air, so these things affect this. So what we do is we mix in just a little bit more in than we normally would, not a lot. Like I said before, we've got about 5 to 10 minutes of playing with this before all hell breaks loose. So this will be going on rather quickly. And that's it, we've got it mixed to a uniform colour now, so we know we've got the right amount of hardener. I'm trying to get just a bit. Come on. I can see me getting really messy in a minute here and using my finger. Not advisable. Like I said with the health and safety in the last video, gloves are really needed for playing with this sort of stuff. Right, let me just see what I can do with my finger in there to get it to the final bit. That's not looking bad, that piece. Let's see if we have as much luck here. Right, that's that on. That needs to dry before we can do much more. And look at all that I've wasted. But it's better having enough than not enough. I've not really anywhere I can use it. It's too gammy to do into the finer edges. We'll do that with body filler. So guys, I'm going to have a cuppa and a cigarette as per normal while this sets and I peel some of this crap off my fingers. I'll see you in a moment. And welcome back guys. Literally the time it's took me to have a cigarette, that's set. Now it sets like God knows what, So I'm going to use some really rough 40 grit just to get some shape to it. You notice I'm going on the outside. It doesn't matter, because like I say, that's to have a final quick sand and paint. Sorry if you can't see this, I'm trying to get the angles so it's easy for me to work on. Oh, I just get a cloudful of dust in my face. Note to self, don't do that. And there we go, we're starting to get the shape already. We're not going to get this perfect because of the type of filler it is. What we're going to do is get the best shape we can, keeping it a little bit low, and then we can make the rest up with body filler. Just clear them bits off where I've been. Right. The big one now. This 40 grit doesn't last long. It soon starts to clog up or lose its guts. So we have to keep checking and seeing if we need to get another piece or move around on the paper. The dust out, don't blow it, Steve, we don't want it all in your face. Right, as you can see, it's basically there. Let's check you're on camera. Yeah, what you're lacking is the sharper edge there. Now give me a minute while I set my stuff up off camera. I'm going to use my die grinder to get that last bit. If you haven't got a die grinder, all it is a glorified Dremel. Right. There's one. And there we go. Like I said, in case you didn't quite catch it there, a die grinder is basically a glorified Dremel that works off air. So a Dremel will do that fine, or even a little grinding stone in a battery drill. Just let me blow this dust out. Right, we now have a fairly intact rim. The next thing will be some body filler. So, drag the body filler out again. If you remember my last video, we were talking about types of body filler and their uses. That you get light filler, which is lightweight, easy to sand, but it doesn't stand up well in large amounts. You also get the heavier stuff, which is normally the cheaper filler, which you can clag on in large amounts and will stand up, but it's hard to get a finish on it. It doesn't sand very well. So this would actually normally be one that I would do with the harder filler, because being right on the edge, it needs a bit of strength to it. But sadly, we're in lockdown, so I can't just nip to the shops as I'd like to, and it's Sunday anyway, so the shop I need is shut. So we're just going to use what we've got. And see, what I'm trying to do with these helmets, as well as restore the look to how it should be, I am also trying to make them so if someone wants to wear one for reenactment or something like that, then it's good enough for that. It's good enough to sit on someone's head all day long. Right, that's about mixed. When mixing filler, try to use more of a folding action, and that way it avoids you getting a load of air trapped in it, which with the fine stuff doesn't matter so much, but it does with the other. Right, using finger again. Should have gloves on, but it's going on nicely. Let's try and get some on that edge as well, because there's a little bit of burr on that. And then inside again. Start that way, it's easier to come from that direction. Well, it is for me anyway. Right. Let's get some on the edge. And background. And lastly, the front. Oh, I've just put my hands in it there. Let me get a better grip here. I've got to work quite quickly because this filler won't stay soft for long, and it will start balling up on me. I can feel it already starting to tighten. Round here. Right, that's the seam done. That's that. I've still got some filler left. So, another trick with body filler, when you mix it, when you're finished, rather than use it to the last drop, when you've done, do this to your scraper. Right, we've got a big lump either side. Now what'll happen is, that'll set. When that sets, and you come to use that scraper next time, it'll just clip off in one big lump. Well, two lumps, one either side. And your scraper will be immaculate underneath. What most people do, and they end up getting into hard work with it, is cleaning the scraper, getting most of it off. And if there's just a small residue on the scraper, it is a pig to get off. You end up using a Stanley blade or something like that. Now we're going to cut off camera for a bit, give that time to set, might have another couple, and then we shall get that somewhere near and then work on the bulk of the helmet. Thank you. Right guys, we're back. That's set nicely, and I'm using some slightly finer sandpaper this time to get it in shape. Actually online I'm using a bit of rougher to get it in shape. I was about to blow it then. We did that last time and it went all in my face. Let's tip it out. There you go. That's getting where we need to be. Right in that groove. Could have really cheated here and used the Dremel, but I'm trying just to cut back the filler enough to show the detail and smooth it and still leave as much metal as I can. I'm trying not to take too much off because this will still show as bumpy when we've done, which we don't want. We're getting there. Right, let's give that a quick blowout. Not in my face. Right, we're getting there. we've got ourselves our flange tidied up. Sorry, missed a bit. It does happen. That's tidied up. Now we need to start thinking about tidying up the rest of the inside. As you can see, it's pitted. In the first video we gave this a quick blast of high build primer, and I've sanded it a touch. Obviously the primer wasn't that thick, but you can see that it's sitting in some of the recesses, in some of the holes. Now what I'm going to do next, a lot of you won't be able to do unless you've bought a liquid tin of the paint rather than the aerosol. What I'm going to do, when I find it, my cellulose high build primer from Auto Paint Northern. When it comes, it's really thick. You have to thin it down with thinners. Now, a cheat is I'm going to mix it and paint it on. Well, I'm not going to mix it. You don't even need to mix it. Just give it a quick stir, and then merrily slap it on. Make sure you fill all the pinholes up, and a fair point to make just now is that a lot of the inside's not going to be seen. Doesn't mean we don't have to do it, and doesn't mean that we shouldn't take as much care as possible, but only, let's make sure I'm on camera, only to here, to the inside of that flange is seen. This is because the headband goes in, which goes snugly to the helmet, and then further down you've obviously got the wadding that your head sits in. And so it's not an excuse to bodge it. Also, what I've done is I've taped the holes so we're not getting bloody great runs on the outside. We don't want that. Another trick for you, if you're using aerosols, haven't got a compressor, blah blah blah, and need to do this, you can dilute some body filler with cellulose thinners and put plenty of hardener in it, because you're obviously diluting it, and that you can get to the same consistency as this and brush it on. But please bear in mind, it sets fast. Nearly there. Now, as you can see from the start of the first video, when I was deciding how to fiberglass the repair in this, the inside's going to be an absolute pit to sand. I've sanded what I can, and I'll have to build any bad bits up with a bit of body filler and one thing and another. Nearly there. Now don't worry about filling the holes up, because you can poke them back through later. That's not the end of the world. Let's find a way of getting hold of this. There we go. There we go. Let's get some in them edges. And some on the front. Right guys, this will take overnight to set, so excuse that, so we're going to have to call it a day there. And what I'll probably do actually is It's the morning now. I'll probably come back in this afternoon, not on camera. What do you mean, thank God? I'll come back in the afternoon and I'll put a second layer on that. So it'll build up even more. Now all I've got to do is find a tin to clean this paintbrush out with some Selly thinners, and the job's a good one. See you soon.